Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, El Shai Bashem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video Christianity and Cognitive Dissonance. As you can see right here, I'm going to read the definition, AI overview. But before I go into that, I want to speak on gold and silver because someone asked a question. I can come back to this. Let me go ahead and find the comment. As I said, I was going to do a video on it. Give me a second here. I didn't do a video earlier because I was running around. I was out and about. Got caught up. Let me see. Let me go to. Okay, I'm in videos. I just want to find a comment so I can read it. I don't think it's this video. I mentioned gold and silver. You hear this? It's nothing wrong with their teaching. They got receipts. Let me just say this. Then go follow them and stay off my page. Damn, wait a minute, page. The damn woman. So you follow them when they give you when they pull up, give you them chips. See if they follow you then. Okay, let me come back. Right back to videos. Let's try this one. And we're getting the main topic. Okay, I found it. Okay, this was put up by Royal Blood 1444. What is the best place to buy gold or silver? Shalom. So I said I'll do a video on it soon. So I'm doing a video right now. What is the best place to buy gold or silver? You got to find out wherever you live, you got to go on the web and you got to say gold and silver dealers near me. And it'll give you a handful of places within where you live, within 10 miles or so, 5 miles of where you live. You might do a little research on it, get the address, go out there, call them, ask them, do you sell, I just want to make sure you guys are selling. Well, if they have a company name, get the address, you can go there. Anyway, this is the thing. When you go to any gold or silver dealer, they deal with other things. They'll deal with antiques. They'll deal with swords. They'll deal with clocks. And that's part of their business. It's gold and silver, but there's other things that they deal with. Mainly for collectors. The people that go in there and deal with them are people that know gold, know the business, let's say, of gold and silver. Anyway, go to any gold or silver dealer. The first thing you want to do is you say, "Hi, my name is so and so and such and such," and he's, "My name is so and so. Nice meeting you. What can I help you?" And make sure you come with some money, because you want to buy some silver. You don't want to buy gold, because you don't want to. You need a lot of money to buy gold, especially now. So you want to deal with silver, which I call the poor man's gold. That's my term. So anybody use it, they stole it from me. Silver is the poor man's gold, because you don't need a lot of money to buy silver. So you're not buying gold. Let me say that once again. You go in there, the first thing that you're going to ask them, let me do this. Another thing you can do, you can go to Google, and you can type in gold and silver prices chart or whatever. You'll get a whole bunch of sites. I use this one. I can use any of them because I know how this thing works. But I use Monex. MONEX. Got a 1-800 number. I don't buy from them, by the way. So anyway, wow, gold is $3,155. That's something. That's that's telling me something. That's telling me something very drastic is happening. Give me a second here. God damn it. It's hard to get to the top. I'm trying to get to the top here. Okay, so it's 3,155. The other day it got as high as 3,174, which it hit 3,000. About 2 months ago, I said it was going to hit 3,000 in 2 weeks. I was wrong. It hit 3,000 in a month and a half. Okay, around about here. This is March, February going into March. This is around the time where I said it'll go to 3,000, which it didn't. It kind of went up to 2,900. It went back down it went up, and then all of a sudden, in a couple of weeks, this was like mid-March, and then it hit 3,000. Then it shot up to 3,033. Then in a couple weeks, damn near a couple days, it went all the way up to, as you can see, 3,155. It went up 42,000 from the last. Okay, this is the low. And it'll fluctuate. You wake up in the morning, it's one price. Afternoon, it can be a higher price. Evening, it could be a lower price. And so if you go get gold, you know that this is called the spot price. Tomorrow morning, it could be 175. It could be 136. Right? So you don't want to deal with gold. You want to deal with silver, the poor man's gold. Silver's not moving like gold is. As you can see, let me see something. Okay, this is in August. It's $27. 27. Fluctuates from 27, 30, $30, 30. It went up to 33, almost $34. It's now right over here, which is $35. 34.20 up. Didn't even really budge, hardly. Percentage wise, 0.06%. So this is like the long-term investment, if you want to buy it for investments, right? So now, the spot price right now, if you went into a dealer right now, the spot price is $34.26. It can go up 25 cents, go down 10 cents, fluctuate anywhere between $34, $33, and $35. The first thing you ask them, and you can do it on your phone. You in your car, you go to your smartphone, go to Google, put in what's the spot price for silver today or whatever. They give you today's date. It'll be somewhere around here. So the first thing you ask the gentleman, you say, how you doing? Could you tell me what's the spot price on silver today? They might even have it written on the wall on a blackboard. They'll have the gold spot price and then the silver. Then they'll change it. They'll use a chalk and change. See how it just changed? You saw that? It just changed. It just changed. So it changes in real time, as they call it. So 34, the spot price is 30. The guy says 34.27. All right, thank you. How much do you charge above the spot for 1 ounce of gold? Silver Eagle. You're going to tell them Silver Eagle. Because if you say gold, 1 ounce, silver, not gold, but silver. If you say how much is one ounce of silver beyond the spot price, how much do you charge for silver per ounce? Now he might say, well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for Liberties? Are you looking for Morgans? Are you looking for Maple Leafs? Are you looking for Eagles? You want Eagles. You want Eagles. Also, they have rounds. They have rounds, which are round coin with a design on it. No name. And they're a little bit cheaper, but it's still silver, silver, silver. Then they have bars, which looks like a bar, like, you know, the gold, like Fort Knox. You see that bar, that gold bar? It's like a miniature gold bar, a silver bar. Excuse me, I keep saying gold. Got gold on the brain. Look, it just, see? It just is in real time. It went up 6%, then it went up 9%. It went up 0.09%, then it came back down to 0.03%. So that's real time, right? So what you'll say is, how much do you charge for silver eagles, ounce, one silver eagle? He might say $44. That's $10 above the spot, which is kind of high, but the guy down the street can sell it for $8. He can give you whatever fucking excuse my French. He can give you whatever price he wants to, and you can take it or leave it, right? Just like you go to a supermarket and you buy a loaf of bread for $3, the loaf of bread on the other side of town might be $2.50. So you can say, I'm gonna buy certain things from this place and go to that place. Look, it just changed again. I've been talking for 5 minutes and it changed about three times already. It'll change again. It'll change again. Same thing with gold. Anyway, I hope you're on the same page with me. When you go in there, first thing you say, how you doing, sir? My name is so-and-so. Nice meeting you. What's the spot on silver today? Oh, the spot on silver is 34.20. The 34.20 is $34.20. How much do you charge per ounce Silver Eagle? He might even say, you want the newest Silver Eagle? Or, you know, I got the 2018s and the 2019s and the 2025s. It don't matter with me. People like the newest shit. I don't give a damn what year you give it to me. If it's 5 years old, if 2018, 2019, I don't care. But people like to get the newest shit I don't know why. Don't bother me. You know, well, I got some 2018s. I say, yeah, give me some 2018s. I'll take them. Shit. So anyway, if he says $44 or $45, you can say, thank you, sir. You know, I'll see you again. You know, he might want you to buy something. Now, if he says, you know, $44, they can charge that much, and you can go ahead and buy it. You can go ahead and buy it, or you can go to another. You can say, thank you, sir. You have a good day. I just wanted to get some information on your prices. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It went up again. It went up again. Or you can say, how many do I have to buy to get a better price than that? Is there any way I can get a better price than that? He might say, if you buy $1,000 worth of silver, I can give you each piece for $9, which is good. If he says $8, that's even better. So you can get an idea, but you don't got to go to like I said, go to XYZ Silver. You get the bet. No, you go any place, and you want to go to the physical places. You don't want to do shit online because you don't know how to deal with these people online. All right, now you can deal with these people. You can call them. You can call them just to say how much do you sell Silver Eagles 2025s, 2024s, 2023s? How much do you sell above? How much do you sell each piece? You can say how much do you sell above the spot. He might say $7 above the spot, but you gotta buy, you know, $3,000, at least $3,000 worth of silver. That's how it works, and that's how people buy. So what you want to do is you want to be able to have enough money to get 10 silver Eagles. He ain't gonna give you a better price. That's 10 Silver Eagles is nothing to him. So look, I'm buying 10. I ain't buying one. Okay, yeah, okay. But you say, can I have 10 pieces? You know, I'm pretty new at this thing. Is it possible that I can buy 10? Yeah, I can give you 10, but it's gonna be $11 above the spot. So what are we talking about? It's 40. If it's 44, 45, 45 times 10 is $450, right? They may or may not put taxes on it. They're supposed to tax you. If you get a whole lot of gold, they can do something where they can play with, you know what I'm saying? So you got to look at the fact that they can tax you too. So what's the tax for any town USA? Well, let's say it's 8% tax. So that's $450. So the tax, it would be about another $38 or so, right? You come in there with $500, you can get you 10 Silver Eagles, and you get a little change back. Then you say, you have a nice day, sir. You go about your business. And then you know what? You can go to other stores, and other people might treat you nicer. And then what you do is, you go to these different sites. You go to this site. You go to YouTube. Oh, a good site that you can go to is what's it called? It's Gold Silver. The name of the guy is Michael Maloney. He's great, and there's others, right? He goes and he learned the hard way. He had to figure this shit out for himself because he was getting ripped off as far as investing. So he did study, and he's like the top expert. And he'll even go into like the Roman Empire. He'll go into the history. Like he did like a series on the Roman Empire like 9, 10 years, 11 years ago. And he breaks that shit down. Because I can go back 2,000 years. I can go back to the beginning of time. I can go back to Egypt, and I can tell you what what is it, gold, silver, gold ratio during the time of ancient Egypt we talking 4,000, 5,000 years ago. I can tell you what the ratio is. When I say ratio is gold, silver, silver, gold. Or the ratio of gold and silver in 1920 in the U.S. How many pieces of silver, ounces of silver did it take to buy 1 ounce of gold? You know? The best thing that you can do if you want to start buying is silver, because it's cheap. Poor man's gold. So anyway, if you got any more questions, just come to me. But I already broke it down to you. I broke it down to you, all right? Now I can do a presentation with a bunch of Edomites that got money, and boy, I charge them X amount of dollars, $250 a head, whatever, and I can go all in. I can give you all the the extras that you need. I can go right to the point. I gave it to you right to the. I gave you the point. I put it right at you. See, with Esau, I can give you I can stretch this shit out to 2 hours and go into all kind of shit, and they'd be all fucking amazed and still be lost, even though I explain it to them. But this is the easiest way to go. Go silver and do what I say. Watch this video a couple of times. What was that song by Tony? It feels good. Remember the Edomite? Play this song and listen to it, however the lyrics go. You know, but that I gave you a lot of information in a little amount of time. Okay, so now let's go into my subject. Okay, where we at? There are no members of the elect in Kenya. Oh, they're getting all over Nate. And Nate wasn't even there, man. He had his men get fucked up. He wasn't even there. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, so let me do this. Bear me for a minute. Okay, this guy right here. I'm gonna go to live. Let me go to live. Let me see. Where am I? Okay, so I want to cover this. So this guy is Corey Minor, I believe his name is. Corey Minor was proven wrong.
When the silence gets too loud, we hear.
And this is his video.
Call, text, or chat 988.
Okay. Thanks. There's another commercial.
Got a dumb, stupid Christian we got to deal with.
Okay, so this is somebody from IUIC, dealing with the smart Christian. Nate went over there to his Texas, I believe his Dallas, Texas office, and this was maybe a year ago or so. Then he came back challenging Nate. So what I want to go into. So I went into this word, cognitive dissonance. And I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the definition. AI overview. In the context of religion, cognitive dissonance refers to the psychological discomfort a person experiences when their religious beliefs or behaviors clash with new information. That's why these Christians are bugging out, because we as Israelites are telling them that, first of all, The one that you call Jesus is a black man. He's an Israelite, and they have to agree he's an Israelite. But they believe he's a white man, so they believe that the Israelites are white. And when he came, he didn't come for everybody. He came for his people, which are the people of Israel. So they're all messed up in the head. That's cognitive dissonance. That's why they keep challenging us. Experience when their religious beliefs or behaviors clash with new information or experiences, leading them to seek ways to resolve the conflict and restore internal consistency. In other words, they're trying to find scriptures. Well, it says Abraham, but Abraham wasn't an Israelite. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were not Israelites. So how can they be saved? Because it said they're going to be in the kingdom. It said you're going to see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Let me just put in Jacob and do it this way. Okay, let's go to the New Testament. Yeah, Jacob is written in the Bible, Old and New Testament, 364 times and 332 verses. Okay. Okay, Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Going into the genealogy of the Messiah, showing you that Joseph put seed in Mary. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, Matthew 8 and 11. I'll read this in the NLT as well. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Wait a minute. I thought you said only Israel's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Why is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Matter of fact, let me open this up. Okay, the key point is the 11th verse. I'm just going to read. I'm not going to. You know what? Let me read 11 and 12 verse. And I say unto you, this is Yahushua talking, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Some people say ganishing. The G is silent. And Yahushua said unto the centurion, go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And his servant was healed in the self same hour. So this centurion, well, see, wait a minute. The centurion, he was a Roman. He was a white man. And so was Cornelius. He was from the Italian band. Well, guess what? You had Jakes in high up positions. This centurion was obviously an Israelite that knew the power of the Messiah. The black Messiah, as IUIC, the black Messiah. If he's a black Messiah, I guess he's a black Hebrew Israelite as well. Let me read that again. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Well, wait a minute. These guys are heathens. They're Gentiles. They're not Israelites. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are the fathers of the Israelites. What do they call it? What's the term? there's a term, the fathers of the promise. Fathers of the promise, right? What you don't understand, what Christians will never understand this because you don't understand what reincarnation is all about. Everything is reincarnated. Abraham came back as an Israelite. Isaac came back as an Israelite. Jacob came back as an Israelite. They were always Israelites, but they were not being called Israelites. They were being called Hebrews. And then when Jacob's name was changed to Israel, all his sons were known as Israelites, not Isaacites or Abrahamites. You understand? So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were Israelites. He came back and Lot. Paul called him just Lot, a righteous Lot. Lot came back as an Israelite. What is it? Isaac, Rebecca came back as an Israelite. Leah and Rachel came back as Israelites. The two handmaids that they had, they came back as heathens. Adam came back as an Israelite. Methuselah came back as an Israelite. Cain came back as an Edomite. Abel and Seth came back as Israelites. So now let me just go over here. And now I read you the definition of cognitive dissonance, right? They believe one thing, and here the Israelites are telling them something different, and their heads are all messed up. So they're trying to figure out a way. Oh, brother, what if you go to this scripture and you come over here to that scripture? And what about Cornelius? And what about the woman at the well? The woman at the well was a heathen. What about the woman who was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation? A lot of Israelite camps say that she was an Edomite. She was not an Edomite. She was an Israelite. She was a Greek that knew the power of Yahweh Shai. But it wasn't fully open to the Gentile-minded Israelites. That's why Cornelius came on the scene after Yahweh Shai rose. And then went over, the angel had to break it down to Peter. That's in Acts 10. And in Acts 11, the rest of the apostles said, well, what's this all about? You dealing with it? He had to explain it to him. He wasn't a so-called white man. This is why it's a waste of time to dealing with Christians, because they're messed up in the head. So now let's go and watch this. I didn't watch the whole thing because if I do too much, I might break it up. Let's see what the spirit, maybe somebody will pick up where I left off. Anyway, this is Corey Minor of the Smart Christians channel. Corey Minor was proven wrong by Hebrew Israelites.
Got the nerve to speak about Bishop.
One, he's an idiot, right? Idiotes, right? Or two, he knows certain things, but he deliberately keeps them from you.
What we need is an apology.
Corey, you got a lot to learn. Somebody help the Smart Christian, man, the idiotes. Somebody help him.
Shut the hell up, Corey, man. You don't know what the hell you talking about, bro.
This is fair use, by the way. Fair use. He's so messed up, he don't know there ain't no sound. What's wrong with you, bro? That clock is smarter than you. What's this old saying about a clock? A clock is right 2 times a day. You wrong all day long. You gotta have fun with this. This is on his end.
There it is. There it is. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I had the mic up. I turned it on, or I pushed one button, pushed the wrong button. So sorry about that. But if you're wondering what I'm wearing, I am wearing a jersey for my school. And I'm wearing this because, unfortunately for someone like Lakeisha and anyone from Arkansas who might be an Arkansas Razorback fan, Texas Tech won last night in the Sweet 16. So, and that was to be expected because, again, we are Texas Tech. But I'm doing this video because there was a response to my response from some Hebrew Israelites. This is probably the last time I'm going to respond to these particular people. But something that I said, by the way, it's easy to trigger them. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to be, and I don't want to be insulting. Now, again, that's their MO. I'll try not to. But I want to address what they said because either they're right.
Why don't you get to the point, man? Trying to sound like a fucking white man. Get to the point. Get to the point.
Or I'm right. I think I'm right. Now, you all will decide. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. There's two issues that I brought up that they have responded to. One was, is salvation for just the Jews only? I say no. I say that's ridiculous. I say that is absurd to think that salvation is just for the Jews only and not the Gentiles. We've covered these texts.
See, you don't understand the difference between Gentile Israelites and natural Gentiles. That's what you don't understand.
I gave a couple of texts because their leader, fearless leader, stated that there is no use of the word reconciliation in the New Testament, and there's no use of it as it pertains to the Gentiles. And so I showed a couple examples. I used 2 Corinthians 5 and I used Romans 11. He does not, the person that we're going to hear from first, does not give a response to
This is a video he did like 5-6 days ago. Reconcile means to, I gave the example. You have a woman, you've been with her for 2 years, you'll break up, you get back together. In a couple of days, you get back together. You apologize to each other. You go out, have a good time. That happened to me. Break up. It was a song, break up to make up. That's all we do. You reconcile when you get with a woman that you broke up a couple of days, you got back together. That's called reconcile. You can't meet a woman in the club and tell your people, "Oh, I've met this new chick," and we reconcile. You can't reconcile. You just got together. So how can the hell can the Lord, the Gentiles be reconciled to the Most High when the Most High never dealt with them? It was obvious not talking about the natural Gentiles.
Romans 11. And I think there's a reason why.
Romans 11 is referring to the Gentiles. I magnify my office, Paul said. He was referring to the Israelites that were outside. They were not the northern kingdom. Gadaliah said it was not the northern kingdom. There's no record of the northern kingdom coming back from the Americas. It's not talking about the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom was already in the Americas. They ain't came back. They stayed over here. Now you did have some of the northern kingdom stay with Judah. They ain't talking about them either. When you go into the history during the time of the Maccabees, this is when you understand why they are being referred to as Gentiles, why they call themselves why they refer to themselves as Gentiles or not following the laws, statutes, and commandments, because they were forced to follow these laws, not to call themselves Israelites, or they would be put to death. Some of them said, "Just kill me." Others said, "I don't want to die. I don't want my kids to die. So we're going to teach them that they're Greeks."
And he goes to try to prove that Gentiles are a part of Israel. They're just people of the northern tribe. And so when we see that Paul is...
It had nothing to do with the northern tribe. You Israelites out there, you got to start teaching that. The northern tribe is not talking about the northern tribes. Some of them were of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, that got caught up in that mess during the time of the Maccabees.
A an apostle to the Gentiles, does it mean that Paul is a Gentile to just the tribe, the northern area, the northern Israel, the northern kingdom? Is that right? So to the two tribes are at the bottom in the southern kingdom, that would be Judah and Benjamin. Are those the Jews, and then the rest of them, the remaining tribes in the northern territory, that's just those are the Gentiles? Is that what that means? Let's look and see where he's wrong at. But then also the next gentleman that you hear after that, when I made the statement that you can't find anything, any example of where Hebrew Israelites have gone and they've made the community, the black community, better. If they are of God, if they're so wonderful, well then, why?
I boxed. I competed in boxing, fought in tournaments. The more you box, the more experience you get. What you see in boxing, a good boxer that had a lot of fights, he fighting the other guy, he gets guys because he set them up. He sees openings. If you don't see openings, he creates openings. So you go high jab to the head, a double jab to the head, then a right cross to the midsection, and then when the guy's hands go down, you can come up with a hook to the head or hook to the body. You see openings. You what do you call that? What the hell do you call that when you feint? You feint. You're creating openings. You hit the guy with one shot. You want hit him with the 1-2, but you want to get him with the 3. Or the 4, which is the uppercut. Boom. However you want to put them numbers together. So we see you Christians, you coming up getting fucked up because we looking at all your openings, man. Well, I see all kind of openings in this dude. But he don't know because he's stuck on let's go back to the word, cognitive dissonance. In the context of religion, cognitive dissonance refers to the psychological, that's dealing with the mind, discomfort a person experiences when their religious beliefs, this will change your religious beliefs. If you can tell me what movie that's from, you're good. Or behaviors clash with new information or experiences, leading them to seek ways to resolve the conflict and restore internal consistency. I got to go out there and show them guys that they're going off, that other people can make it besides Israelites. That's why you got them Edomites coming out to the camps. You understand? So let's come on back.
Why don't we see it? He gives a response. Now, I think his response is sophomoric and ridiculous, but I'll let you guys be the judge of it. But first,
yeah, because you don't know nothing. Because you were trained in a cemetery. You trained in a theological cemetery. So you just basically regurgitating the crap that you learned from that theological cemetery.
First off, let's have this particular brother start off.
Of the Bible. They don't have proper comprehension skills to read. Case in point, listen to this response of this person. I think his name is Gadaliah. Well, I'm not sure what his name is. Top Dog Israel. I think it's what his little handle is.
Yeah, Top Dog Israel. That's his name. Top Dog Israel.
You don't know his name, yet you put his picture on a thumbnail on you.
He said he thinks it's odd.
Well, wait a minute. Hold up. You don't know his name, yet you put a picture. Well, wait a minute. You guys put up a picture of the Black Messiah, and you don't know his name. So what's up with that? I'm getting at the both of y'all clowns.
That I put his picture on the thumbnail. No, I don't know you. There's no way from. No, I know this, that the picture that you put up, it has while it was going live, so I assumed that you were watching.
Fair use.
Me while I went live. I don't know anything about you. Never heard of you. Don't know anything about you. I was sent this to me from Vocab Malone. And by the way, if you go to Instagram and just type in my name, you'll see some responses from Hebrew Israelites. I don't know your name. Not interested in knowing your name. Not to say that you have a bad name, but I have no idea what your name is. So, sorry.
On your page, to which broadcasts to all of your followers and subscribers. Who puts a person's picture on their thumbnail if they don't know their name or who they
People who
Well, why would you put a picture of the Black Messiah and you don't know his name? You're going to call him by Christ. Hey, this is the Black Christ. What do you look like? Oh, well, what's his name? Well, we didn't know. We got to wait for the kingdom to get it. You got a hole. There's holes in IUIC as well. Got holes in you, man.
don't care what your name is. I don't know your name. I tried to say it the right way, but I don't know your name. Sorry.
They are.
Got a liar. Well, I'm not sure what his name is. Top Dog Israel. I think it's what his little handle.
And so I'm.
And what did God lie mean? What does that mean? Huh? We ain't supposed to know the Hebrew. That sounds like a Hebrew name. That's hillbilly Hebrew.
I'm trying to say the name Gadaliah, Gadai. I don't know what his name is. And so he says that I'm nervous because I don't know your name. Why don't you use your real name, Clarence, Travis, Willie, or whatever your real name is, use that. The name that was on your birth certificate when your American mother and father signed for it at the hospital, use that name instead of the made up name. I don't know what it is. Pardon me. Sorry, but let's continue.
Handle is something like that, but he gave a response. I was sent this by their arch nemesis, Vocab Malone, and I got a kick out of it.
Our arch nemesis? No, idiot. He's your arch nemesis too. He only wants to destroy your people and see your people.
He's our, Vocab Malone is our, as in the black community's arch nemesis, but I thought that Vocab Malone would be part of the 12 tribes. I thought that Vocab Malone, even if he is ignorant of it, that he's also part of the 12 tribes, that he is also Jews or Israelite. I thought that was the case.
Because these guys these Christians don't even know what that's why you got so many denominations, man. Vocab, if you watch the video, you would understand that Vocab Malone's father is a German, unless his father goes back to a Jake. The original founders of Germany, what nation of people made Germany great? Jakes, so-called Negroes. And Esau knows that when you go back to the ancient history of Germany and so forth, the origins of Germany, those were Jakes. That whole the customs of the Germans, they got it from Jakes. But Esau got up in there.
It's just the white man. So help me. Maybe I misunderstand. I don't know you all's rules.
People oppressed and continue down, and your help contributing to it. But let's continue to look at this.
And by the way, before I continue, that was the point that the other guy is going to bring up that I said. I said that you guys have done nothing to lift up the community at all. And I stand by what I said. I'll say it again.
The Lord never said lift up the community. He said go out. And in other words, our job is to go out and push that word out and for people to wake up. And the people that will wake up are the elect. Our job is to get just the elect. Most High is just dealing with the elect. Go to Revelation chapter 7. Not coming for everybody. He's not coming for the whole nation.
May come across harsh, but it's the truth. Everywhere that the Hebrew Israelites have gone in, they have shown themselves to be nothing more than just like roaches. What do you mean, Corey? Well, you have the same track record as roaches. Go into a messy place, leave that place just as messy. Find the place in America where they've gone and they've made some sort of tangible difference. But we'll come back to that later.
There's no way in the scriptures. We don't change. We don't build buildings. We don't feed the poor. Yahushua said the poor will always be among you.
The word of reconciliation. Who is Paul writing to? Who's the audience here? Who is Paul speaking to? Is he speaking to Jews? No, he's speaking to Gentiles. Is he just saying?
One or two things. One, he's an idiot, right? Idiotes, right? Or two, he knows certain things, but he deliberately keeps them from you. He said, who is the audience? He asked what they...
Now, it could be I'm the idiot. Now, he's going to borrow the phrase that I used, the Greek word idiotes, as though he knows it, which is fine. I didn't invent the word, so you can use it. And it could be that I am the one that's ignorant, unlearned. But let me ask you guys a question.
The people that Paul spoke to were Israelites in a Gentile state of mind, meaning he was bringing them out of that Gentile mindset. And I don't have backstories on all of them. on any of them. But I bet you that they all got in that met their parents and their four. Well, we're talking about no more than about 3 generations, right? We're talking 30, 40, 50 AD, going back 150 BC. So we're talking no more than 4 generations. So their grandparents taught their great-grandparents taught their grandparents, their great-grandparents taught their parents, and the parents taught you to be a Gentile.
Who is yes, the only Greek they know is what I give them. You're right, Lakisa. Who is Paul's audience? Who is Paul an apostle to?
The Israelites that's coming up out of that stuff. If you notice, you got a bunch of women. And GMS don't deal with women. You women that watch, you can continue to watch and support and put your prayers and give us some big ups. But that's as far as you're gonna get. We don't have a place where you got we got the women, there's women's section, we got the men's section, we got a restaurant in the place, we got a nursery, you got dogs, we got like a little dog pound for your dogs while we teach you to no, you're not gonna get none of that. Okay? It's just men. And we go out on the streets. Scriptures speak about us being as pilgrims in the earth. Pilgrims don't have no set place.
Well, he's an apostle to the Gentiles. But he says that these Gentiles are not us. Are not non-Jews.
Jews. Now, I hope Corey Minor has enough understanding to know that there was a split between the kingdom of Israel. Northern and southern kingdom, they became split into 2. The northern kingdom became known as Gentiles. The southern kingdom became known as Jews.
Nah, you got that wrong, Gedaliah. Go back, get down and have a discussion with Nate. You're going off on that. The northern kingdom. Now you had members of the northern kingdom that stayed with Yahweh or stayed with the kingdom of Judah. But the majority of them, they went to the Americas. They never came back. So it's not talking about that. Doesn't tell you what tribe Cornelius was from, but he was most likely from the kingdom of Judah.
Now you're going to hear this from time to time when people are going to say that the northern kingdom are the Gentiles. Find it. Find one example in the Bible where the northern kingdom is ever referred to as Gentiles. There's no such thing. This is a Hebrew Israelite manufacturing. There is no such thing. The northern tribe or the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom are both called Israel. Now, they do have different terms. You might hear
I'm going to ask Corey Minor, where did the northern kingdom or the kingdom of Israel, where did they go to? What happened to them? He ain't going to tell you they went to the Americas. They went to the Americas.
Northern tribe called...
That's the fulfillment of the Israelites being scattered throughout the planet Earth. First precept that come to mind is Deuteronomy 28:64. And then just all you got to do is go to the precepts and you'll find hundreds of times where it mentions the word scatter, to disperse.
Israel or Ephraim. Think about this. They're the ones that are called Israel or Ephraim. And then the southern kingdom is called Judah. So if the northern kingdom is called Israel, well then when the Bible refers to them as Israel, when do they stop being Israel? Go back and look at the split and you'll see that the north after...
My question to this Corey Minor is, where did the northern kingdom go to? What happened to the northern kingdom? I bet you he don't know. I know he don't know.
Solomon, the kingdom split. Those in the north are called Israel. Those in the south are called Judah. But now those in the south are called Israel, and those in the north are no longer called Israel, but they're called Gentiles. The question is going to be then, when does Gentile ever mean Gentile? Or if the word Gentile doesn't mean those that are not Israel, well then what do you call those that are not Israel? What do you call them? So the Gentiles are no longer Gentiles. What's their terminology now?
He keeps mentioning Jews as if that's all 12 tribes. And when you read the word Gentile, that just automatically means that's talking about, whomever outside of the Israelites. No, Corey, you got a lot to learn. Let me show you who the Gentiles are in the book of Corinthians, or the letters of Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover,
Now, when I said this, as we read this, when I said that they either they've earned it honestly or it's natural, not sure, meaning that they either are just devoid of comprehension through no fault of their own, or they are practicing cognitive dissonance. They are in.
He uses that word, which he's experiencing cognitive dissonance. We're telling him one thing, and he can't. No. I learned in the cemetery that it means this, and like I said, that's why it's a waste of time even talking to Christians. That's why I said, put the decree out. Vocab roll up on you, call the cops on him, because all you're gonna get is the same. He's gonna answer the same. He asks the same questions all the time.
Intentionally trying to show that they don't know, or trying to spin it or to twist it. Listen to what he says in 1 Corinthians 10. We're going to go there as well, but listen to what he says. If you are one of those people, he seems to make a valid point. He seems to have a valid point, especially if you're kind of searching. And so this is why we're doing this, because this is a good opportunity to correct him and anyone else that might be listening.
Brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant. Oh man, that's ironic. I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drink of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. Wait a minute. Let's look at this again. I would not have you ignorant how that all our fathers all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized. Were Corinthians, if you say that these are Gentiles, meaning nations outside of the Israelites, were they baptized in the wilderness? Were they with Moses in the wilderness? No. Who was
Apostle Paul was talking to Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. He was bringing them out of that Gentile state of mind into being, telling them that your foreparents are the Israelites. So you got to come back to knowing that you're an Israelite, not a heathen, and you can get salvation because you're an Israelite. And then he didn't force the laws on them, but he started to give them certain laws that they can keep. There were certain laws that they had to keep. They didn't have to keep all the laws at that particular point. That's in Act 15 and in Colossians 2 and 16. Okay? So they wasn't jamming the laws down their throat like IUIC does. And IUIC doesn't even know. They only know one law. Fringes. That's the only law that they know. They don't know the law. Like I said, I'm fighting two enemies right here. Two foes. I'll roll up on this brother. I'll ask him, brother, when does the Sabbath come? You know you're gonna say Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. I'm gonna say, does that happen all year round? He said yes. I said, prove it. He can't prove it. You can't prove it. You can't do it. Yeah, I was gonna go into another topic, which was like a little on the deep side, and I said, nah, because it's gonna go over people's heads. Not that it's real difficult, but I said I would have to do too much explaining. Because basically when we teach on the streets and we teach on the web here, we basically try to keep things as basic as possible. And then every once in a while we'll give you a piece of meat. But sometimes you choke off that meat. Like I was going to go into a topic on a bond woman. We were talking about that the other day. Because, what's the name? Shadah? Whatever her name is, Shadah. She mentioned that. She mentioned the Old Testament law about a bond maid. So we were kind of talking about it, and I was going to kind of go into a video. I said, nah, it's too much explaining, but I'll do it eventually, and it will get too many emotional Israelites out there. Because we went into the grape thing. They still fucked up over the grape thing to this day. So you guys ain't ready. You guys ain't ready for no meat. You choked on that piece of meat. Let's go ahead and read on. So how do we know that when Paul was talking to the people of Corinth, how do we know that they were Israelites? Because he's reminding them that our fathers, meaning Paul was a Benjaminite, so all Benjamin, going back to Benjamin, all Judah, going back to Judah, you had Judah in the wilderness, you had Benjamin in the wilderness, or Yehoiada in the wilderness, you had Bunyamin in the wilderness, and you had a lawyer in the wilderness, but they're in the Gentile state of mind, right? Coming out of that. And then you had some of the northern kingdom in the wilderness. The rest of the northern kingdom was already on the side of the Americas. So so when it says the Gentiles that Paul went to, it's not talking about the northern kingdom, Gadaliah, whatever rank that you have.
Wasn't with Moses in the wilderness, the Israelites. Who are the?
That's correct. How do we know? Because he said let's go back to this again. Moreover, brethren, who are my brother, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites? Romans chapter 9. I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers, who's all our fathers? If Paul was an Israelite, the people that he's addressing are also Israelites. And he's saying your forefathers were back there in the wilderness. Okay, I'm just reminding you that. So there was no Edomites in that congregation. There was no Moabites, no Ammonites. There were Israelites, man. Coming back into the fold like Cornelius. This is not hard.
Corinthians, Israelites. I got more.
Now let's pause there. He seems like he might be making a good point. So let's
He is making a good point, nigga.
go to 1 Corinthians 10. His point is where he says that, brethren, I'm sorry, I do not want you to be unaware, brethren, that our fathers, and so the our fathers is Paul, who is clearly a Jew. He's saying our fathers, and so his point is that Paul is referencing other Jews. Why else would he use the word our fathers?
And that's who he's talking about, other Israelites. First of all, Paul wasn't a Jew. Yehoiada, he was Bunyamin. Well, he said he was a Jew. Yeah, because people didn't know that. They referred to Judah, Benjamin, Levi as Judeans.
Our fathers were all under the cloud and passed through the sea.
Which were all, our fathers were all under the cloud, which passed through the sea. It's talking about Israelites. Now, did they have mixed multitude? Yes. But he wasn't talking about them.
And all were baptized into Moses, into the cloud, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, and the rock was Christ. So now, nevertheless, with most of them, God was not well pleased, for they were laid low in the wilderness. And so his
Yeah, they were put to death in the wilderness because they were bucking up against the order.
point is, were the Gentiles, were they the ones who were in the wilderness? Or would we call them our fathers?
No. Our fathers in the wilderness were talking about the Israelite, your four fathers and four mothers in the wilderness. He ain't talking about even though there were Gentiles there. And what happened to the Gentiles? They were the ones, if you go to the Numbers, they were the ones that would get into the ears of Israelites to get them to go back, to complain to Moses to go back into Egypt. So they wouldn't write. And then you had the Hamitic boy that was this buckethead black woman married some linky ass Hamite Egyptian and had a fucking funny looking son, and he cursed the Most High's name. Why? Because he's not an Israelite. So when they called the council, they went to the Lord. What do we do about this man? The Most High said, put that nigga to death. He said, put that nigga to death because he disrespected my name. Now what is Nate doing? Now that Nate might be that same Hamite back there. Shit, you might be a Hamite, Nate. I know you're gonna get mad at that. I don't believe he's a Hamite, but I'm doing that just to get to you. But what if you are a Hamite?
He might have a point. if it weren't for the fact that there are more scriptures to read, and if it weren't for the fact that comprehension skills seems to be low here. Because what is Paul doing? Paul is using an example of our fathers. So Paul is taught, by the way, there, and no one is saying that Jews weren't in other places. You've got Jews dispersed all over, but do y'all know where, does anyone know where Corinth is? See, when they want to tell you that these Corinthians were,
this is what's called Asia Minor. You're going up there in Greece. He was in the area of Greece, Asia Minor. Because that's where Israelites were. Because he's this buckethead, he's thinking that, well, there were white people up there. Nope, the original Europeans were Darkson people, Japhetic people. Go back to Japhet in Genesis chapter 10.
Jews also. Here's the question. Well, and by the way, he says that these Jews were black. So we've got these black Corinthians in Corinth, and we've got these black Gentiles or Jews or Israelites who are in Ephesus. And
yeah, that Jake was all up in Europe, man. Jake was all up in Europe. Let me show you something. Let me show you Negro something. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this now. The ancient Olympics vases. Let's go to images. There you go. Them are black people. They're from the ancient Olympics. Look at this. A Negro. Look at this. What you mean to tell me there were black people up there? That's a black guy. He built like Jake. Esau cannot get built. They get close because they are Hebrews. But who dominates the missile Olympia? Olympia goes back to the Olympics. It means clean. Olympia. Look at, that's Jake. That's built. You know, when Esau first came out with the bodybuilding thing, Edomites would dominate. When they let Jake in there, Jake just took that motherfucker over. Took it over. Look at this. And they were bucket naked back then. Them are Jakes, man. Them are Jakes. Look at that. Look at that. That's a Negro. Jake made Greece great. Let me see. Was the Greek god Zeus a black man? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. That's a Netflix program about, I believe, about Zeus. I didn't see the program. Look at that. It didn't look like no damn white boy. Zeus. He looked like a lot of Jakes I know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Ain't no white man with doggy stringy hair. Look at the built on this dude. That's look at this. Look at the hair. Look at that. That's Jake. Jake be built like this. Okay. Top winners of the 2024 Olympia. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where they at? I'm sorry. Jake always wins. Jake always, look at this. That's a Jake. That's a Jake. Look at this. Look at this, man. These are the ancient Greeks. Then you got these buckethead black women that want to get muscles like men. How many of you want to get with a woman like this? How many of you want to get with a woman that's built like this? This shit is a complete turnoff. This place gotta fucking go. He's an Arab. I believe he's an Arab. I gotta look him up. It's Jake. I believe he won. And put in list of top winners of the Mr. Olympia. See, Arnold Schwarzenegger had a nice build for that time, but he couldn't compete with these guys today. He could not compete with these guys today. Let me see this guy. Okay, this is Phil Heath. He won it like 7 times back to back. So he had a good build for his time in the 70s. He can't compete with these guys today. Here we go. Right, Jay Cutler was up there, but he might be a Jake. He looked like an Edomite. This motherfucker right here, Ronnie Coleman, he won it 8 times. Lee Haney, 8 times. 8 years in a row. U.S. What is that? Iran? Well, she probably is a Jake. So yeah, here you got Corey Minor talking about who's up there. Wasn't there white people? No, there were Jakes. Let me look at this here. The fucking woman. And you damn black woman, man. These are all black women. These are all black. Black women are fucked up in the head, man. They're fucked up in the head. Who wants to get with a woman that's built like this? Look at the do you really think that this, hey, they were showing back in the early days of Lee Haney, not Lee Haney, but Ronnie Coleman with his wife, and his fucking wife is uglier than him. Let me see if I can get that. Ronnie Coleman and his wife's bodybuilding. Okay, I'm gonna show you what she looked like. Wait a minute. Right, this is his wife right here. Back in the day, he got an Edomite wife. She looked like a fucking ape. She looked just like him, the twin of him. He finally got him an Edomite. And Edomite women, they love Jake. Look at it. Wait a minute. See? I know Nate is gonna get mad. I love me a black man with big, strong muscles. Hold up. Now, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. That's his wife. That's his kids. You know? Because he ain't the handsomest nigga in the world. So you get muscles like that, you're going to get you them women from the other nations. See, she's all hugged up on him. She's so happy to go to bed with a brother with big muscles. And Esau is mad as fuck. But the nigga overdo it and he can't walk. And this clown's still lifting. He's all fucked up and he still goes to the gym lifting. Talking about, I'm going to walk one day. Watch and see. I'm going to walk. Look at this. This nigga is massive. This nigga looks like a what is it, DC comic, Marvel comic superhero, man. That's Jake. Anyway, so Corey don't know what the hell you mean. So where's Corinth at? Where is it at? And you mean to tell me it's black people? Yes, they were all over the place. You don't know the history.
Who are in Crete? Where did all the non-black people go? Or I should say, where?
Jake was all up in there, mingled among other nations. There was Japhet up in there, which were dark-skinned people, the sons of Japhet, and then you had Jake, Israel, that were so-called black people, and you had Europeans up in there too. And the Europeans started coming to power around about 200 BC, because they were on the bottom. We were kicking them in the ass. The reason why they came into power, and they're in power now, because the Most High put the spirit on them to come into power. And you don't know that. You like this clock. And actually, the clock is smarter than you, because this clock is right 2 times out of the day. You ain't right, period. This is why you don't waste time with these Christians, man. Because they're not.
Where are all the white people at? Are we?
He's concerned about Esau.
Saying there are no white people or people that.
And if I say you mean Edomites, no, they're not Edomites. The Edomites were done away with. How do you know that? Because my theological cemetery told me so.
Look white there. Where did they go? But going back to this. What?
This clown is wise in his own conceit.
What do you think Paul is doing here, ladies and gentlemen? In this text,
I don't have to think. I know. All I got to do is read. I don't got to think. It's written there before you. He was reminding them, the Israelites, of their forefathers. My brethren, our forefathers. He was not talking about other nations. He was talking about Israelites. The people of Corinth that Paul was gathering were our Israelites.
What is Paul doing? Does anyone have any idea why Paul is saying our fathers and speaking about
because they're all the same, fool.
Them as being in the wilderness? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why Paul is doing this, now this isn't part of the Bible, but sometimes the Bible will do a pretty good job of giving you a heads up. Some of your Bibles might have a heading. So what Paul is doing, and we can read the rest of 1 Corinthians 10, and we can see that Paul is telling these Gentiles not to do what the Jews did. That
he didn't say that. He did not fucking say that. He did not say that, you demon. Avoid Israel's mistake. Meaning, this is what Israel did. Y'all, other nations, don't do it. No. The people that Paul is talking to in Corinthians, the people of Corinth, the group of people that he's, the audience of Paul, are Israelites, not Edomites, not other nations. Period, man. Just go to Romans chapter 9. Read the first 4 or 5 verses. He called them brothers too, brethren. Listen to it a little bit more and then I'm going to close.
That's why he's saying our fathers, and they ate and drank in the wilderness, because Paul goes on to speak about their failures. He says, now these things happen as an example for us. Come on.
Yeah, in other words, if you don't get right with the Most High, don't get right with God, inside joke, that you're gonna wind up, the Most High gonna bring death upon you like He did your forefathers.
Mr. Earl, Willie, John, Travis, Sherman. I'm not sure what your name is. Don't want to give you a name, but I don't know what your name is. So, Paul.
Because you don't acknowledge that you got a Hebrew name. Just like you at IUIC don't want to acknowledge that the Messiah, the black Messiah, as you say, is an Israelite. Because you don't want to give him a name. You want to call him Jesus Christ. Anyway, y'all can watch the rest of this. I'm pretty sure. So I stopped at 15 minutes and 34 seconds in of a 1 hour and 13 minute plus video. If you want to pick up from there, you can. You want to start from the beginning, you can. Or not. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next shalom.